Hi, and welcome to our first call of this series on Sunrider and Nourish, Balance, Cleanse. And this is something that I've been involved with for 25 years. And I have guests on this call who have also been involved 25 or more years. And I'll have them introduce themselves as they as they speak and give a little of their Sunrider story, please. First, I will just tell you my story and how I found Sunrider. I was introduced by Trudy Stolting, and it was 25 years ago. And she had had she had been very ill, and we both worked together at the Salmon Arm Hospital. And she shared with me, but I had already studied nutrition and I thought I was pretty healthy. So I wasn't that interested for the first couple of months, even though she had been off on long-term disability and very, very ill. And after a couple of months, I did try the NuPlus. And with one NuPlus, I was able, the next morning I woke up and it was my hips weren't aching. And that was from one NuPlus, which is unusual, but it helped me. And so then I was interested. So I went on to learn more about it. And Trudy and I became a very strong team, traveling a lot with Sunrider and having many, many, many fun times. And just this morning, I saw Rye Stolting's posting, her husband, regarding today was 1 year anniversary of the time that she died. She was so grateful for 24 more years of of health, vibrant health. And I just remember her. I think of her every day. She's a close friend. And I want to introduce Jim Pendry, who also taught me all I know about Sunrider. And he's going to say a couple words because we're going to make this a tribute to Trudy and discuss NuPlus and Vita Shake as we go along. But Jim, if you don't mind saying just a few words, tell about Trudy and then also your Sunrider journey, please.
Sure. Well, I'll start off by talking about Trudy. I was doing a meeting in I don't even know what year it was. If it was 25 years ago, that makes it about 96 or 97, right? When you started, Diana? Oh, you're muted.
November 1996. Yes.
1996. Okay. So I just remember I was doing a meeting in my office and it was packed. So there was about 30 people in the room. And there was someone who was just laughing and cackling in the back corner of the room. And I was, who is that? Anyways, I'd been hearing about Trudy and I knew she was very sick and she was on her deathbed and she slept like 23 hours a day and she was yellow and her eyes were kind of sunken back in her head. And the doctors had sent her home to get her affairs in order. And I heard that she was doing very, very well. And so this woman was laughing in the back corner of the room and we were talking about regeneration and how the body can heal itself of nearly anything, like within reason, right? If it's given the right raw materials. And of course she was in agreement because she had come back to life. And that's what she called her business when she started it. It was Fully Alive because she said, I knew what it was like to be almost fully dead. And we just become such good friends. She was so much fun, to be around. And whenever Trudy was around, she was kind of the center of the energy in the room. And she was never afraid to just say it how it was too. So if there was something you did that she didn't think was right, you were going to hear about it. And anyways, yeah, her story was great. And she was just so clear on the philosophy and she never bent the rules either. Like a lot of people will cheat a little bit here or there. And, people have a bit of chocolate or they'll have a bit of coffee or they'll have a bit of wine or not Trudy. She towed the line because she knew what it was like to feel terrible. and to have her body failing on her. So anyways, the year before she passed away, or a year and a half, I'd gone out to Halifax because they moved out there to see them in their town, about an hour and a half out of Halifax. And yeah, we had a great time. So yeah, a lot of memories. And just like Diana, I think of her, it's a little emotional even. I think of her every day or often, several times a week, for sure. So anyways, now my story is, I started in Sunrider about 85. And my wife and we weren't feeling very good at all. I had terrible digestive problems. They kind of ran in the family. And so you tend to think, oh, it's genetic, but really kind of what's genetic is how you eat, how you handle stress. Of course, your genetics are also at play. And anyways, we'd started on these foods. We heard about this philosophy, and it was like, I believe in that the body can heal itself. I didn't know, of course, that this Chinese doctor had the goods or not, but we started and we felt better. And I just started on the Cali and Sun Nectar or Sun Care in Canada. And so it was like, well, I was hearing about this Nourish, Balance, Cleanse philosophy. So it's like, well, it's time to try the Nourish part. And the thing with me is it didn't matter what I ate for breakfast. I worked for an oil company, plus I farmed. I put in very long days. And it didn't matter what I ate for breakfast. I was starved by 10. I could have bacon and eggs. I could have cereal. I could have toast. I could have fruit. It didn't matter what I had. I was starved. And as soon as I added a NuPlus into my breakfast with what I was already doing, boom, I was satisfied till noon. And then the next thing I noticed was cravings started to really change. And then I always had a nap at noon. If I could squeeze it, I'd have a 15-minute power nap. And I didn't need a nap anymore. So I was playing with the kids. So I really noticed that, and the people around me really noticed that I was happier and more energetic and stuff. So that's what NuPlus did for me. And it's been a food that I've had in my life all these years. And it's that food that I say that it's that one food you can put in your body where you go, every time. So that's how I feel about NuPlus.
I love that. You brought up pretty well every point. One being that it gives you more energy. You didn't need your nap. That reduces cravings. Yeah, and that you just had more energy, and that you didn't have that mid-morning slump. And I find, yeah, I am showing you my NuPlus. So this is NuPlus mixed into hot Cali, although Trudy always used Fortune Delight. And here's the package. This is called Simply Herbs NuPlus. So I just want viewers after this to see what it's so simple, but this is juiced and dried herbal whole foods. And it's absolutely magical. You wouldn't think one little package like this could do so much, but you could almost live on this. It's cell energy food, and you don't have to use a lot of energy to digest it, and it gives you energy. So I mix that up in tribute to Trudy, and that's what I have every day, although I put quinine package in there usually too, or have it in a smoothie. And we have other flavors. So we have peanut banana, and that's delicious even right out of the package, but you better drink a lot of Fortune Delight with it because it's very dry, very concentrated. And there is the apple cinnamon and mixed berry. So, and there's naturally plain, and then there's the original. So each of these have foxnut, koi fruit, lotus root, water lily bulb, Chinese yam, emperor root. So these are common in Asia, but we don't usually have them in North America, and they have such high antioxidant qualities and many known qualities for helping your life. And then there's the original, and this one does not have beans. Oops. Okay, and they come in 60 packs. 60 pack. There we go. That's a good picture.
Anna, you give those out for Halloween, don't you? Those 60 packs?
Oh, sure. You're going to come by my house for sure. And then they come in the 10 packs. So this is what we're talking about today. And I've asked Randy to tell us about the philosophy of regeneration and also how he got involved with Sunrider and any NuPlus story he has. And then Tricia Holder will tell us how the soy in Sunrider is different than the soy that most people use on the market. So Randy, if you would.
Okay.
Tell us.
Thank you, Diana. Jim mentioned the first time he saw Trudy. I'll just tell a joke story about the first time I saw Jim. And this was before, I think his wife had already started the foods, but he hadn't. So he was in the back of the room all sourpuss. But that quickly changed once he got on the foods. And my own story, I wasn't doing very well before Sunrider. I definitely had some health challenges, and I wasn't really feeling very good about myself either, because, you know, I was broke and unemployed, and, you know, didn't have a direction in my life. And so, but then a friend showed us the Sunrider foods, and I looked at the packages, the same packages that Diana showed, and like there was something attractive about it, you know, even just looking at the foods, there was something a little bit special about it. And I love the philosophy of regeneration, which I'll mention later. But I started on, we didn't have that many foods then, so NuPlus was the main one. And I just started feeling surges of energy in my body that I hadn't felt since being a teenager. There's the old joke, you know, feel like you were a teenager, but with, you know, more sense kind of thing. And so I've seen many people, like literally hundreds of thousands of people's life change because of NuPlus. And it's got a perfect nutrition. I consider it almost like, if you can consider something that was complete nutrition for your body, that was easily to digest, what do you think your body would do if it had that perfect nutrition? You could ask that question. And that NuPlus is kind of, will give you that answer, what your body will do in that kind of situation. But I was really attracted to the philosophy too, because I had been looking at various kinds of supplements and health programs and stuff, and it got so complicated. It got so incredibly complicated so fast. All these different vitamins, you do this and you do that, and this is good for this, and this is good for this problem. And this was totally different. And it first of all, regeneration first of all points to a simple fact that you're alive right now. You know, we're all survivors. We've either survived 20 or 40 or 60 years. You can hear my voice. And so we have this incredible life force actually flowing through us at this moment. And we kind of focus on that instead of the problem. And we say, well, how can we, you know, what can you do with this life force? Well, you hardly have to do anything. When you were 2 years old, you didn't have to figure out your liver's gonna cleanse your system. When you're 7 years old, you didn't have to figure out how your stomach was gonna digest the peanut butter. And if you cut yourself, you don't have to figure out how your body's gonna heal that up. It's all done automatically. And that's what regeneration is referring to. Now, Sunrider was the first health company that ever used that term, ever. And everyone was just talking about, you know, fix this for that. And it gets so complicated, and you're focusing on the problem. You know, there's the old saying, where your attention goes, energy flows, or what you put your attention on grows. And so Sunriders, we're always talking about this, and we get energized just, you know, just by the subject of that. And the other point of regeneration is that your body's constantly changing cells. Like about a third of your cells are often being renewed every day. And if you provide the proper environment for your body, those cells will be strong and healthy, and it's like you're getting younger and younger. Those new cells are definitely younger, but they can also be stronger and stuff. And so there's a chance that whatever your situation is now, your body, using that life force and the incredible intelligence within your body, can take care of all the problems. So if you have a stomach problem, it can take care of that. If you have an immune system problem, it can take care of it. It can take almost care of anything. And I've seen fantastic things happen when they just put these foods in your body. And for me, life NuPlus gave me the strength, you know, because it was feeding all my cells and it's so easy to digest. The main thing I see about NuPlus for other people is that it's so nutritious and so balanced that it stops you from eating the bad stuff. And Jim mentioned that. And that's the story I've heard hundreds and hundreds of times, is that once you start with NuPlus, all those bad things, I should say, Jim has this famous video about your digestive system and stomach busters. And, you know, one of the things is with regeneration, if you just get out of the way and stop harming your body, it'll do great things. So if you stop eating the stomach busters, and Diana has all kinds of courses how to eat better. If you do some of that stuff, whoo, you know, your body will do great things. And with Sunrider, it'll be many times more than that. So NuPlus is a key ingredient. I wouldn't be without it. I eat it every day now for 30 plus years, I guess now. And I like the apple cinnamon the best. That's my story.
I love that. Thank you so much, Randy. Thank you. I really enjoyed that. And apple cinnamon's your favorite. Yeah, I think
I eat it dry.
What's that?
I eat it dry lots of times.
Do you? Oh, wow. Yeah, I think this one is mine, the peanut banana right now, but I go in phases. I love the mixed berry. Oh, somebody's coming in the room a little late, but I'll let them in. Mixed berry with almond milk and banana and frozen strawberries and whizzed up in the blender. This one is amazing. So there's so many ways to have it. So how do you like yours, Tricia? And please tell us your story and also more about soy and soy.
Yes, well, I started 31 years ago. I was long-term type 1 diabetic, legally blind, kidneys had failed. Doctor said I wasn't going to live long enough to see my babies grow up. And I was celiac. And I craved everything under the sun, and I had because of my non-functioning digestive system and candida overgrowth. And so I still remember when the order arrived at the door, I ripped it open, I sat on the floor and I ate peanut banana NuPlus, dumped it on my tongue. That's how anxious my body was. And it was the first time that I had been fed in years because of my non-functioning digestive system. Needless to say, my eyes quit hemorrhaging, my kidney function returned to normal, my celiac cleared up, lost all of my cravings, and I lost 30 pounds, and I feel amazing. So mixed berry is my favorite. I mix it up with heifer water every morning with evergreen and throw some Protein Plus in there, and it is absolutely delightful, my favorite treat. So the bad side and the good side of soy. Ancient organic whole soy foods like tempeh, tamari, tahini, not tahini, miso, tofu were consumed for thousands of years by the ancient Chinese and Japanese, and their rates of reproductive cancer are 1,000 times lower than our rates here in North America. So the secret is it has to be organic and it has to be whole. And the problem with soy in North America is it's genetically modified, it's grown with chemicals, it's treated with a horrible chemical called hexane, and then they take that mash of undigestible stuff and they make isolated soy protein or soy protein isolate out of it, and that's what they make protein powders for weight loss, for working out, and God forbid for baby formulas as well too. And this absolutely horrible processed soy is a rich source of MSG and also of aluminum. And it's not added. You'll never see those on the ingredient list. It's in the processing that these two are introduced or created. So that's the difference between the soy that Dr. Chen uses. It's the ancient organic whole food soy. The stuff we need to avoid here in North America is anything that's not organic and whole food. So that's the biggest difference.
Cool.
Myself, I'm unmuted now. Thank you, Tricia. You're so knowledgeable, and yes, and that's what we have in our NuPlus, and that question comes up quite a lot because online everyone is being told not to use soy products for various reasons, and they don't know the full story. So I really appreciate that.
Yeah, I'll just say one more thing, that that there is phytoestrogens in soy as well as in flaxseed, and bran contains phytoestrogens, and these are plant estrogens that actually block all the excess estrogen that our body produces and that comes in. And animal products contain estrogen, dairy contains estrogen. So when we eat those phytoestrogens like soy or flax, it actually blocks the excess estrogen, and it not only prevents these reproductive cancers, but it helps you maintain your bone mass. It helps lower cholesterol, triglycerides. It prevents heart disease, and it raises good cholesterol and lowers bad cholesterol. So it's just got to be one of the most amazing plants on earth if it's whole and organic.
Fabulous. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So we got a couple more minutes. I'm going into a different class in 4 minutes. Does anyone have any questions or any final comments I'd like to make? And I just really, really want to thank Randy, Jim, and Tricia for their participation and help. And this call would not be as good at all without each of you.
Diana, I'd like to just say one thing, if
Yes.
it's all right. I make a decision on what I eat based on how it makes me feel, right? And some people are more sensitive to what they eat than others, and that's fine. That's just the way it is. And NuPlus is that one food that I can always eat and feel good. And as we age, I'm not sure if men are worse than women, but we tend not to sleep as good. Our hormones change, and so I was experimenting with eating later and all kinds of different things, and I couldn't really nail it. And another one of my downline, Barbara, she goes, Jim, NuPlus. And so years ago, I just found that, I don't know, I thought maybe if I ate it late, I might not sleep, and I never really give it a chance, but I've always slept good. So I finally tried it, and that's like 2 months ago. And I tell you, I wouldn't be without my NuPlus before I go to bed now, no matter what. I have such a solid sleep. It doesn't matter if I eat early, if I eat late, what I eat, within reason, I get a great sleep with NuPlus. It's just such an amazing fuel. So.
Thank you so much. That is a really other good point. Which kind do you take at night? And
Simply Herbs.
Simply Herbs, yeah.
Yeah.
That one's and Debbie's asking, she says, thank you all. Read the NuPlus versus Vita Shake and sugar cravings. How much do I eat before I can feel a difference? Anybody want to answer that?
I ate 2 a day. Took my cravings away. 2 NuPlus a day.
Okay.
Never really got into Vita Shake. NuPlus, and Randy and Jim, a plug for vitality analysis. I follow it explicitly. How many years I've been using it? Follow your vitality analysis. NuPlus is always a #1. Vita Shake is not a #1. It's a #3 usually. Eat NuPlus and leave the Vita Shake for another time.
Okay, and that's interesting because I was going to talk about Vita Shake because I do love them, but I think that I know that you're right, Tricia, that like the magic happens with the NuPlus. That's that is Dr. Chen's magic formula. So so that's an answer to Debbie's question then, to have 2 of the Simply Herbs NuPlus, preferably, probably, and could get your vitality analysis done. So and somebody else says, I really appreciate the explanation about the difference in this soy and that in other products. So thank you, Malia. And I think this might have to be the end of it, but we're going to have every Thursday in May at 3 or 3:30. We haven't decided yet. We're going to have, the next one will be Quinery. So it's Nourish, Balance, Cleanse. So the next one will be Quinery, then Kelly and Fortune Delight for Cleanse, and then we'll wrap up with a 4th call. So that hope to see you on those, and get back to the person that referred you to this, and get started with Sunrider if you're not already on board. Thanks again, everybody.
Thank you, Diana.
Bye-bye now.